Hello, fellas and ladies. Time for the Golden Globe nominations. It is a straight up hour after the Critics' Choice nominations came out, and now I gotta predict the Golden Globe noms, and I gotta do it now because, I don't have all the time in the world. Let's just rush into it because I need to get going. Start with drama picture. Yeah, they're split up. Some movies are gonna have advantages that they won't have in other ones, but at the same time, we know damn well that they're gonna do Hamnet. Hamnet is probably going to win here. It feels so secure. And they're going to do Sinners. They're going to be pretty nice to Sinners, I would say. Maybe not glowing. Critics' Choice just gave it 17 nominations. That's probably not going to happen because there's not 17 categories. But it'll have a pretty good day. It was just an accident. It is approaching lock status. I don't care that it didn't do good at the Critics' Choice. It's dumb, but I don't care. It's fine. I actually think it was just an accident. It's going to have a pretty solid Golden Globe haul. It just keeps on riding a constant wave of momentum, this movie. And especially with this new branch of the Globes, this seems like a gimme. Frankenstein is going to do damn good. Frankenstein is just at a point of its run where it's good. We got this. It's fine. Del Toro, maybe it won't get director, but we're in the clear with Frankenstein. And then sentimental value, it's going to happen. It's getting in, but I do have it at 5. Just because I smell the, again, it's not going anywhere, but I could smell it going downward a little. It's getting in here. Again, these Globes are doing sentimental value, easily. This is simple. And then number 6 is a little sticky, because I initially was yeah, Avatar, Fire and Ash makes a lot of sense. But after this morning, not that the Critics' Choice have that much bearing, but after this morning with Avatar straight up missing Critics' Choice, I think the writing is almost on the wall with Avatar. And maybe it's just not getting into Best Picture, and that's fine. And in the middle of Avatar's maybe plummet, Train Dreams is doing excellent. It's not like last year when Sing Sing was accomplishing all this. It was this top 2 player that everybody was yeah, that's a Best Picture lock. Train Dreams just keeps on climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. It's only a passion thing. It's maybe a bit of good timing, sure, but who's to say the Globes aren't going to be sucked up by the good timing of Train Dreams? So I think they're going to go Train Dreams. This is pretty Globes-friendly film. I don't think Avatar's getting in. I think Avatar's on its way out. The Secret Agent is not impossible. I think if somehow both Avatar and Train Dreams miss, which I find implausible, but if that were to happen, I think Secret Agent is next. That's a pretty Globe-friendly film, and we know that it's getting an actor nomination. More on that in a bit. Who knows? That's not, crazy. That's not a crazy prediction. Secret Agent just is not as, awards, high as these other films I mentioned. Train Dreams getting, AFI is, there you go. Not much really to go off of from there. I don't think F1's happening. Weapons, that feels as a picture contender, Weapons is pretty DOA. Best comedy or musical picture. Let's see. One battle after another. In. Winning. No question there. Marty Supreme. That's pretty secure. Number 3, I am saying No Other Choice. I think this is where we finally get our adrenaline boost for No Other Choice, or it finally finds some security. If No Other Choice misses, that's the end of it, but at the same time, if it misses, then something lesser will get in, and I will say that I do not know the Golden Globes. If they go with Wicked, Jay Kelly, and Ann Lee and Begonia over No Other Choice, I don't know these new Globes. That would be stranger to me. Now, what's next? No, I think No Other Choice is pretty secure. It's such a Globes bait type of film while also being populist. It's a really good best of both worlds that No Other Choice is playing with. From there, where do we go? Jay Kelly and Begonia are both having excellent times. But if these both get in here, then they'll have successfully done AFI, NBR, not NBR, Begonia did not get NBR. Now, to be fair, who disliked Jay Kelly the most? It's international people. But at the same time, it's it seems to just have enough fans, unfortunately. I won't say unfortunately. I like Jay Kelly just fine. Begonia and Jay Kelly will have then successfully done AFI, Golden Globes, and Critics' Choice. And that's I can't squeeze both in. But I don't really know what exactly is stopping the Globes from doing these two in this category. Because competition's both tough and slim at the same time. So I'm going to put them in, and then for the final musical slot, between The Testament of Anne Lee and Wicked for Good. Testament of Anne Lee is kind of not doing good right now. It's really just kind of scraping along, really doing nothing except that Amanda Seyfried nomination at the Critics' Choice. But Wicked for Good is so far coasting pretty well, but there's so obviously signs that it's dropping off. And Wicked for Good, it's why, like, this new Globes, why are they doing Wicked? Why are they the one to say, yeah, no, Wicked for Good, that's one of our favorite movies of the year? That doesn't track for me, and Testament of Anne Lee kind of toes the line, kind of like how I said about No Other Choice, just to a less acclaimed degree. Testament of Anne Lee has such a splashy, very easy to admire, like, aesthetic and tone to it. And on top of that, the plot is digestible. It's very easy to, like, watch. Anne Lee's not really, like, finding ground, but at the same time, why? Again, it's like, if they do Wicked for Good, if the Golden Globes do Wicked for Good, I don't know the Golden Globes. So I'm gonna say Wicked for Good misses. I think this is where its throat gets slashed. Maybe that I'm being dramatic. If it gets in here, then it's safe. But I am gonna stick Anne Lee instead of Wicked. It just tracks for me. Wake Up Dead Man, it just seems to not be able to pick up. And I don't get it, because I thought it was an excellent movie, but that's where we're at, and I have to accept that fact. Nonetheless, it would be pretty strange. It would have to jump to the 7 movies I mentioned, and I just can't view it. And then after that, I don't really see any other contender. Blue Moon, it's just really coasting off of Ethan Hawke. I don't know if Hawke's that, like, level of strong. If Highlights I Kick You, Rose Byrne could be argued as that strong, but if Highlights I Kick You is a very tough film to watch. Director, get this out of the way. Paul Thomas Anderson. This motherfucker's winning after winning after winning after winning. This dude's a winner, man. This guy, this is his year. Everyone's in on it. The Globes are like, don't worry, guys. We're helping. We're helping. Don't worry. And then I think the 4 non-international filmmakers are pretty secure here. They'll do Safdie, Coogler, and Ja. I don't really see what would stop them from doing those 3, but director Hatton, it's got, I don't want to say off the handles, but they definitely thrown curveballs before. Last year doing Pio Capadia instead of Denis Villeneuve was pretty curvebally. But then again, I don't know what they're gonna, like, take out Coogler or Zhao for. They're not taking out Safdie. Like, they're doing Safdie for sure. And then they're doing Jafar Panahi. Like, at this rate, Jafar Panahi is, like, he might as well just get the fucking DGA. Like, he is so locked for the Oscar nom that, like, everyone's in on it. Everyone's in on Jafar Panahi's moment. It's almost bandwagony. Like, everyone's just in on it. Same way everyone's like, we're giving Paul Thomas Anderson his Oscar, and we're giving Jafar Panahi at the very least a nomination. And then we have Joachim Trier. I think that they'll do it. I think the Globes will, like, give what they're supposed to give sentimental value, which is to say Joachim Trier. Like, yeah, that he's such a directing director right there. Like, he's very much doing a lot in this film, and I think the Golden Globes will be fine to do this. If they have 6 slots and they're gonna do Panahi, I don't think they're gonna be the ones to do Guillermo del Toro. I mean, never say never, but del Toro, that doesn't feel like something that's actually gonna keep going, although DJ probably will do it, and then we'll see about BAFTA, if he even gets longlisted. But I feel good about that 6. That's like the typical 6, which tells me something's going to happen. That could be Park Chan-wook, because I do think the Globes are going to save No Other Choice a little bit. Park Chan-wook, he's just the guy everyone wants to give director noms to. Like, except they want to give Panahi one more. Maybe he gets in over Trier. That's not impossible. But I'm just going to keep him out. I'm going to play it safe. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't want to predict Park and then Trier gets in. I will say I really can see the Globes going from Under Fastfold. They are pretty into direction like this very grimy and very showy stuff. This is, in a way, Globe bait direction-wise. So I can buy into Mud Fastfold. I can see, like, I'm not going to predict her, but hey, shock, who knows? Kluberman, Donka Feel Ho, that would have to be some Pio Capadia stuff that I'm just not going to be the one to predict. Best Actress in a Drama. We all know Jessie Buckley's getting in. She's winning. Come on. We just haven't seen the sweep start. Renata Ryan's vote for sentimental value is happening. If these Globes were around in 2021, like the dismantled HFPA in 21, she would have been nominated for the worst person in the world. They might have even, like, saved the worst person in the world. This is easy. We all know those 2 are locked. Drama actor's a little vacant this year. So much so that it's pretty safe for me to say that Jennifer Lawrence is definitely getting in for Die My Love. Her performance is amazing, obviously, but also it's caught on enough, and there's so much space here. There's only 2 locks, and that's Buckley and Reinsva. And Lawrence got in for No Hard Feelings, even in this new Globe era. She's good. And then I think Tessa Thompson is pretty secure as well. There's just not enough competition for me to say Tessa Thompson has anything to really worry about, because Hedda is definitely, like, has a lot of fans, myself one of them, and she's very, very good. And it's like, well, who's gonna get in over her? Lawrence and Tessa are like, well, they're never getting the Oscar nom, but they're pretty set here. And then what do we do from there? Now, majority opinion seems that they favoring Julia Roberts and Sydney Sweeney, but like we've seen these Globes reject these pieces of shit. I really do not think they're doing Sydney Sweeney for Christie. That just that doesn't make sense in my brain. Again, kind of like when I said about like Wicked getting into Best Film. Sydney Sweeney getting in would be me not recognizing the Golden Globes. Sweeney, like, obviously she's like a PR nightmare right now, and like Christie is a absolute boring nothing burger that is a historical box office failure. It's like, what are we exactly moving pieces for? And Sweeney has an advantage being that she's, again, in a vacant category, but we've seen in the past that they'll look. Like, when they didn't have someone feasible for comedy actress, they pulled out Alma Poisty. So let's dig a little bit. One of them you don't have to dig that far for. It's Laura Dern. Is this thing on? I've seen it. It's a pretty fantastic film, and she and Will Arnett, who I'll talk about, does a lot. And spoiler, I do have Will Arnett an actor. So if they're doing Will Arnett, then you don't have to do Laura Dern with Will. Like, you could definitely do Will Arnett independently, but if you're in these circumstances where a lot of the competition's in a different category, and you're doing the co-star, and your other obvious options are like critical failures, I don't think Laura Dern is that odd. And maybe I am just gonna stick with Julia Roberts at the end of the day, because as much as people really don't like that movie, like, no, you won't find a contingency of people who love After the Hunt. And she is great. Like, she does enough, and she's a name. Like, I don't want to predict the, like, person they grab from the bag, because I am bad at that, and I'm happy to predict a snub. Like, I feel a snub coming for Julia Roberts, but if I predict her to get snubbed and then she gets in, I'm going to look stupid. So where do we go from there? Like, who is in the bag? Who can they pull out? Julia Garner is an option for Weapons. At this rate, they're probably just going to do Amy Madigan for Weapons. But I do want to say that Weapons is, again, a big deal. It's doing really well with critics right now. Like, critic groups are giving this, not obviously Amy Madigan's winning like in boatloads, but it's like making top 10s, top 5s even. So I don't know, if they really don't want to do Roberts, they could do Julia Garner. Like, they could have some fun. Jodie Foster, I haven't seen it, but I heard, like, again, that's a name. I heard she's excellent. I heard she's like she's French, and her French is pretty excellent for a private life, I should say. Nadia Malidi for The Little Sister. She won the Cannes Award for Best Actress. I've seen The Little Sister. She is excellent in that film. She is young, and the performance is like a little subdued, but I think that's our Alma Poisty. If they don't want to do Roberts or Sweeney and they need to find alternatives, I think that's who we have. Lucy Liu for Rosemead. Does that movie exist? That's what I got. This category is a little fucky. I don't expect to get 6 out of 6 here. This is the best I can. I know my top 4 is correct. I think Buckley, Reinsville, Lawrence, and Thompson are just, they're secure. And then from there, I cannot imagine them doing Sweeney. Like, there's too much, like, going against her. Drama actor. A lot of the competition seems to be very skewed in comedy this year, because, like drama actor, there's like a couple of locks. Not even locks, but like, all right, well, they're the only ones in Oscar, like serious Oscar contention, and they seem like they're in a good spot to get in here. And then it's like, grab bag. Wagner Moura. He just got the Critics' Choice nomination. I didn't even think that was going to happen. I've been saying Wagner Moura is going to win this award since fucking May. He's not going to win the Oscar, but Globe. If he can get Critics' Choice, he can get anything, except maybe SAG, realistically. But he's got this. He's good. He's getting nominated. They're going to do Michael B. Jordan. They're going to do Joel Edgerton. Train Dreams is, like I said, skyrocketing right now. And I want to pitch that if Train Dreams gets into picture here, he could win this. But I'm going to say that those 3 are pretty secure. They're all Oscar, like, conversation. In the Oscar conversation is the proper English phrase. Where do we go from here? I think pretty heavily that they're going to do Dwayne Johnson. Now, obviously, the Smashing Machine is a bit of a failure, but at the same time, I think people do respect Dwayne Johnson for this move, for this performance. Like, it's very easy for me to see why they would do Dwayne Johnson. I think pretty heavily that Dwayne Johnson will get in. Like, it toes the line. I just went off on a tangent about Sweeney, but I think Smashing Machine is like, yeah, not everyone loves it, but I also wouldn't call it like simplistic either. Where do we go from here? I don't really see why they wouldn't do Will Arnett. I could be really wrong about that, But I saw that movie and I thought, Will Arnett's so good. And unlike most of the movies I'm going to mention, I think it's like outside of Agent Sinners and Train Dreams, probably the movie they like the most here, except for maybe Frankenstein, which I'll get to. And Will Arnett, I know it's odd for me to say, oh, I think Dwayne Johnson and Will Arnett are getting in over Daniel Day-Lewis, but he gives an excellent performance, and I think it's very easy for people who don't know Will Arnett's like dramatic chops to see like, oh wow, that's an excellent dramatic performance from a comedic guy. And then finally, in number 6, just on the edge, I have Jeremy Allen White. Speaking of movies that have fallen off the face of the earth, now what he has that Sydney Sweeney doesn't is a good PR. He's kind of in the moment. Like, people almost want to reward Jeremy Allen. Like, he's a Golden Globe winner. So I do think Jeremy Allen White has a good shot of getting in here, but let's face it, these Globes are not as susceptible to this. We don't even think the Oscars are going to be susceptible to this. And the movie is a fucking nothing burger. But I do think Allen White has the edge still, no matter what. Just because I think he's just well liked enough as a person, and I think the performance itself is very good. And you throw the comedy elements, like the comedy actors in here, no fucking way. But you remove them, there's a lot of room for him to be comfortable enough. Although I will say Daniel Day-Lewis has a performance, like more so than Allen White. Daniel Day-Lewis has a performance, but I don't think a lot of the voters saw this movie. Anemone as a film just disappeared off the face of the earth, and Daniel Day-Lewis, hey, look, they love him, but they have to see the movie to vote for him. They could do Oscar Isaac if, hey, we all know they're gonna love Frankenstein, but I do think that all of the acting love for Frankenstein is going so immediately towards Jacob Elordi, and I don't think Isaac's really gotten the praise. Like, he's been praised, but not like it's all been about Elordi. So I'm not. I can see it, but nah. I don't know why they would do Battle of a Small Player. Farrell is great, but that movie is nothing. Russell Crowe for Nuremberg is great, but that is the most old Globes type of thing. Like, if this was 2015, I think he would be a slam dunk. Denzel Washington for Highest to Lowest, hey, he is great, but hey, that movie disappeared. Actress in a comedy or musical. Okay, I think Rose Byrne's gonna win. I think Rose Byrne has what it takes to win this category. She is going up against 3, maybe even 4 picture contenders. I acknowledge that. Rose Byrne is kind of becoming a critic thing, and the Globes of all people are going to do it. Although I do remember saying that about Marianne Jean-Baptiste. I don't think this is Marianne Jean-Baptiste. I think this is different. I think Rose Byrne is really garnered so much appreciation for this performance. I think it's very simple for me to see her get again. They'll nominate Seyfried. They'll nominate Chase Infinity. I have no reason to believe that they'll pull an ageism on Chase Infinity. That makes sense to me. Emma Stone's fine. She'll get in. And then Cynthia Erivo. If this wasn't split, I would say no. But it is split, and I'm already struggling to find a 6th slot. So I'm going to put Cynthia Erivo in. This feels like a gimme. Now, 6th slot, conventional wisdom says Kate Hudson. I've seen Sonic Young Blue. I think the raves of performance are highly exaggerated. And this is where I think the new Globes, being cool as hell, can finally come in. Because why on fucking earth would they do Kate Hudson? I've seen the performance. It's being blown out of proportion. This is not what they do. This is not what new Globes are supposed to do. They're supposed to save cool ones. And who's cool? Ava Victor is cool. This is one of my few risks I'm taking. They're going to go out for Ava Victor. I don't think they're going to go up that hard for Sorry Baby, but Ava Victor, I feel it in my bones. I don't think they're doing Kate Hudson. They could go Dakota Johnson, Materialists. Hey, they saw Materialists, we know that. Emma Mackey for Ella McKay. I did see Ella McKay, and it's not very good, but Emma Mackey is very good. That'd be, hey, maybe. Yeah, that's where my head's at. Ava Victor is my swing. How funny would it be if Hudson did get in, but Erivo missed again? It's man, Erivo's just dead. Performance by an actor in a comedy or musical. Okay, some stakes are here. We know Chalamet's getting in, and we know DiCaprio's getting in. Okay, I think that's pretty simple. It would be weird if they missed. Ethan Hawke is getting to a point of comfort, so he's good. I think Lee Byung-hun is good. He should be fine. To me, it doesn't make sense for him to miss. Again, these Globes not doing Lee Byung-hun and doing some other options over him just isn't clicking as correct for me. Now, Clooney missed the Critics' Choice today. But I don't expect George Clooney to fully Robert De Niro it. I think Clooney is gonna pick up this at the very least because of the split. What happens in the future, we'll see, but I will predict Clooney, and I'll predict Jesse Plemons for Begonia. Like, I just don't get why Plemons is, like, not in the conversation with Emma Stone is. That doesn't make sense to me. But here we are. That being said, it's like, all right, if it's not Plemons, who is it? It's probably, like, what, Daniel Craig for Wake Up Dead Man? Wake Up Dead Man just isn't picking up. Like, it's just, there's no steam for Wake Up Dead Man. I don't get it. But here we are, and look, Craig got in for the last two, but the last two were so much stronger, like, as contenders. This one is not. Like, it's screenplay nominations, like, looking pretty not likely. So, it just has to be that six. Chalamet, DiCaprio, Hawke, Lee Byung-hun, George Clooney, and Jesse Plemons. What else is there? We have Brendan Fraser for Rental Family. Hey, maybe? Like, perhaps, but, like, again, like, how do I put him above what I have? Joaquin Phoenix for Eddington. Joaquin Phoenix did get in for Beau's Afraid, and, you know, Joaquin Phoenix should fucking win. But here we are. He's probably not going to get in. Best Supporting Actress. Okay. Teyana Taylor, in. Inga Ipsar-Lilius and Elle Fanning, in. Don't have to worry about those three. Nor do I have to worry about Amy Madigan. I'm at a point with Amy Madigan where I'm like, I think she's just good. Like, she is, like, in a position that's very secure. This is not a Toni Collette situation. Weapons is maybe not a Best Picture contender, but it's definitely stronger than Hereditary was. And Amy Madigan, like, that's caught on. I think people just want Amy Madigan to get in. I think they'll nominate Ariana Grande. Like, it feels like they're supposed to nominate Ariana Grande for Wicked. It would be like a pretty big headline if she missed. I don't think it's implausible here, though. Like, I think Grande's gonna miss the Oscar at some point, but I think Grande getting in here makes enough sense to me. Except that it also, I could also say it doesn't at the same time. They've like, even New Globes, like they did Jodie Foster for Naiad, for example. But Grande's a fucking pop star. I feel like we keep forgetting that. I'm not gonna be a bold man. I'm just gonna predict her. Like, people do like her performance a lot. I like her performance a lot. Like, she is great, even if I think Wicked's on a downward spiral. And then Gwyneth Paltrow for Marty Supreme. Look, you can flip a coin on the Marty women. Neither of them got Critics' Choice this morning, but I suspected that, and I think once industry chimes in, like, it'll be a little more clear that it's Gwyneth. They could go Odessa Zion. Even here, they could go Odessa Zion. But I'm just gonna stay with my theory that it's Gwyneth, and I think from here on out, it'll be clear. They could go Wunmi Mosaku for Sinners. I think Sinners isn't slowing down anytime soon. I don't know if Wunmi Mosaku is actually gonna go the whole 9 yards, but I can take her seriously here. If they do decide not to do Grande or, like, Gwyneth, I think Wunmi Mosaku makes sense. Like, just one of those women miss and Wunmi's in, I think. That's all I got, really, in terms of, like, possibilities. Regina Hall, I think that's been nicked in the bud thanks to Critics' Choice, thankfully, finally. I never thought that was real. Nina Hoss, if they want to be sick as hell. I always said Emily Blunt would never get in unless Dwayne was getting in, and hey, Dwayne's in here, but due to circumstance, not really due to strength. Best Supporting Actor, I'm going to be very quick with this because I know what this is. Say it with me. Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, Paul Mescal for Hamnet, Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly. This is easy. I don't really know what else there is. Like, I could see a world where Sandler misses, but for who? Delroy Lindo? Nah, probably not. Josh O'Connor? Probably not. Maybe Miles Caden? Nah, just kidding. No. It's this. This is our 6. Best Screenplay. I'm going to just say the same 6 that I have for director in different orders, for sure. We know One Battle's getting in. We know Cinder's getting in. Probably could win. Marty Supreme, that's like a screenplay movie, guys. That's a screenplay movie. It was just an accident. I've seen some say it could win. I don't disagree. Sentimental Value, that's obviously that's a lock. More than Trier and director, that's a lock. And then finally we got Hamnet. Now, Hamnet, in theory, I could see missing, but they tend to do the whatever, like a strong movie and picture getting into screenplay. That happens. Even if it's not the flashiest script in the world, it's just a very strong drama. They're not opposed to it. So I'm going to predict it. I'm going to say that gets in. I'm going to play it safe. Now, is there stragglers looking in? One of them is No Other Choice. So yeah, No Other Choice is like, that's a big script. I don't want to over enunciate No Other Choice's strength. Now, it could happen here. These are the ones to do it. Kind of like the last one with The Substance, where they just went all in on it, but I don't know if there's room for a substance over performance. But No Other Choice makes a lot of sense to me. Train Dreams, if they want to give it an extra nom outside of, like, it could be a song though. Frankenstein, I don't know if they would do it. Begonia, maybe. Begonia is a pretty big script movie. Jay Kelly, No, Wake Up Dead Man, Knives Out, Glass Onion didn't even get in. Why would this happen? Non-English film. All right. The Neon 4. Sentimental value. It was just an accident. No other choice. And The Secret Agent. We're good, obviously. No question. Now, where do we go from there? They could do Nouvelle Vague, but they're not starfuckers. Like, these Globes are not starfuckers. So I don't think they need to do Nouvelle Vague. I do think they might do the voice of Heinrich Job. Because again, like, if you really like believe in that cause, like, you're gonna want to do it. And I don't know, I feel like these Globes would want to do that. Although again, the criticism of the film is starting to pop up, and I think Left-Handed Girl is gonna start catching on. Like, now it's on Netflix, now that people are watching it and really liking it, I think now is the time for Left-Handed Girl to show itself. So I think it'll get in here alongside the Critics' Choice nom. It's really just like a fight for the last two. I don't think they're doing Seurat. I think Seurat's just such a like bleak middle finger of a movie. I don't know if they are going to be the ones to do it. The President's Cake. I wish I saw this movie at TIFF. Like, I wish I could get a handle on this film. I will see it when I can, because I do want to see it. Resurrection, Belen, Sound of Falling would be wild. Who knows? Who knows where they're going to go with this? There's options. At the very least, I'm getting 4 of these right. Like, because I just know Sentimental Accident, No Other Choice, and Secret Agent are just so staples of this category at this point. Best Animated Feature. It's going to play it safe. I think they're just going to do the 6 that got the Critics' Choice this morning. K-Pop Demon Hunters, Zootopia 2, Arco, Little Amelie, In Your Dreams, and Elio. They'll do Elio. Like, I think other places might, like, step away from Elio. But, like, you know, they did Wish. They did Moana 2. That leads well for Elio, I would say. Like, not very well received. Like, a failure. In Your Dreams, I just feel a little more, like, maturity in that film than I did Elio. And the only other option really is Neja 2, which, hey, Globes could do that. The Globes could be the ones to be like, hey, we know it's not eligible at the Oscars, but we like Neja 2 because we're the international people. So definitely not implausible, but again, I'm getting 5 of these right. The only way I don't get, like, 6 out of 6 is if they decide to do Neja 2. Original score. I think we're going to see a very obvious pattern here. One Battle After Another gets in, Sinners gets in, Frankenstein gets in, Hamnet gets in, and Marty Supreme gets in. I think that is your Oscar 5. Train Dreams could disrupt that flow, but I think that those 5 are just gonna keep getting in. Like, I don't really see what is gonna stop those 5 movies, except for like a Hamnet disqualification. What is up to you is what that 6th slot's gonna be. Could be Train Dreams. Now that movie's picking up, let's start getting a little greedy and, like, begging for score or something like that. But Ann Lee's score is pretty fucking breathtaking. I think it's easier to fall for that. Well, the Train Dream score is so, like, magnificent, though. Who knows? I can, you know, kind of toss it around, see which one I like more. I'll lean Ann Lee for now. After that, I think Jay Kellyan's score is pretty, like, not happening. Even though the movie's looking strong, I think that's a pretty big no for me. Begonia, maybe. Seurat got Critics' Choice this morning. And Noah got Sam. Fuck. Seurat would be, like, sick. It'd be like when they did The Boy in the Hair, and that'd be sick. I could fluctuate because I do think Train Dream's score is just so fucking good, but I think Ann Lee's score got a little more attention. I don't know. Like, I guess I can see Ann Lee getting in with just Seyfried. I can also see Train Dreams getting in with just Joel Edgerton. TBD, I suppose. Best song. Golden for K-Pop Demon Hunters is probably just a lock at this point. They are doing that. That's, like, kind of the movie song of the year, like, definitively. But then again, I lied to you as the movie song scene of the year. But those 2 are getting in. That's easy. I think we're getting 2 Sinner songs. I do think Last Time I Seen the Sun is going to happen. I didn't get Critics' Choice, but that's fine with me. Girl in the Bubble, Wicked for Good. Off chance it misses, but I'm not going to be the one to predict it. I'm okay predicting Girl in the Bubble. That feels correct to me. Train Dreams, that's a scrap, I feel like. You can just pick up the scraps for Train Dreams, and that's an easy scrap to give it. They didn't do the Sing Sing song last year, but if I'm to suspect they're going to like Train Dreams more than Sing Sing, then I gotta say they're going to get this as well. And then just to play around, just to go fucking nuts, let's say Highest to Lowest. They're not opposed to, like, musicians, though. Like, they'll do, like, I think Dream is One or Drive are, like, plausible because, like, Miley Cyrus and Sheeran, like, it's not crazy to think about. Just where my head's at. I think Highest to Lowest, they would do it. They did that, like, that Bruce Springsteen song in 2023. They're not gonna do Diane Warren. They don't do Diane Warren. They don't fuck with Diane Warren like that. Close by the Sun, I still just stand by the Ann Lee's not a song contender, and No Place Like Home is not getting in. And that's what I got for you. That's the Golden Globes. Let's see. I got everything. I can tell. I already got it all right. I nailed it. Let's grab and share. Bye.